This is a day in the life of off-strip flying, where we essentially go way out in the tundra of northern Canada and drop off a load of folks in the backcountry. We pack the plane with skidoos, guns, Starlink satellites, Kinder Surprise, you name it. They live out there for weeks at a time, hunting caribou and other wild game. It's some pretty wild stuff, so let's get on with it. And boom, with Mother Nature painting pictures like this, who needs that coffee to start the day? Whenever we are flying only cargo, we can have a little more fun and do some low-level flying. No lack of Top Gun jokes here. Bogey 10 o'clock from the captain's side. Too close, switching to guns, I reply. Real top shelf stuff like that. These are often followed by much more serious conversations about how we actually could have graduated Top Gun. We just didn't want to drop them bombs. Back up in the sky for the trip over the frozen Atlantic to a town called Nain. Again, take a moment to pinch yourself and wonder how it all is so. Convinced you would do the whole job for free. More than a few times you're positive the great simulation has stuttered and you find yourself flying through hallucinogenic-laced watercolor painting. Better get it together though, man. We got landing checks soon. From Nain, we will refuel for the trip west into the tundra. Here is a map that shows our route and the elite level of my video editing abilities. A good friend was kind enough to take this video of us landing in Nain with the type of smooth that makes butter jealous. Actually considered one of the more technical runways on the coast with its short runway and surly winds. It's a complete cakewalk to what comes later in the day. Here's a goofy-ass picture with the cargo for reference. In this case, a skidoo, 1,000 liters of highly flammable fuel, and some guns and explosive ammunition. To this point, you change your mind about doing it all for free and are absolute in your mind that you are in fact being underpaid. Off we go, refueled for the journey west in the tundra. The pictures do the talking, so I'll just be quiet for a while. And here we are after an hour or so setting up for the approach. There are no runways, so the plane is modified with oversized tires to handle the rough ground. It's important to touch down as slow as possible, so we use full flaps, which allows a touchdown speed of around 60 knots. This is excellent for being easy as possible on the plane and awful for overshoots. Once you've committed to this landing, there's no going back, and even with full power, the plane is not able to take off again with the limited space available. So skip over these snowbanks and touch down just as the stall horn goes off with full marks to the captain. Propellers go on full reverse as landing space is limited. Taxi back to the camp and unload the plane while taking as few videos as possible so as to not be that guy. About a half an hour on the ground wondering what people in the Tokyo subway would think of this before we are off again to the next site. Again, engines to full power with the brakes being held. Here we start to gain speed before the plane takes an actual jump. I wasn't aware planes took jumps until today. Rear pressure on the yoke to lighten the nose wheel, and we're airborne just as the ground falls away. Again, once you're committed to taking off, like your worst ex-girlfriend, there's no going back, and it feels pretty good to be out of there. Off to the next site, and this one is pretty cool. All the frozen water to the left is a huge lake created when an asteroid hit a few million years ago. And that big ski jump thing to the right is where all the Earth was pushed forward after impact. The universe really do be tripping in this case, and interestingly, NASA astronauts actually came here to do a bunch of training a few years ago. We do not, despite the Top Gun references, think we could be astronauts in this case, and that's noted in the cockpit before setting ourselves up for the next landing. Skip over that rather hazardous snow band across the runway that isn't a runway, followed by some A-plus camera work, and unload the rest of the plane. There is no footage of unloading because I was doing it all. Back up in the sky for the trip home, which is a couple hours to sit back, relax, pop on your favorite song, and chase down the sun. And that's a day in the life of off-strip.